Is there certain validation in winning that and being named Coach of the Year?
I'm don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled, I'm excited about it, but yeah, I just been doing what I've been taught to do, and these young ladies and staff have responded. So it's exciting. It's great for the program, and I'm not. It's nice, and I appreciate it. But I'll take 3 wins. I'll take 3 wins for the SEC tournament. So.
But the fact that you won that, and Megan was honored, and Bashara was honored,
yeah.
Is there not a certain maybe validation that comes with that after the way?
I think so. I think so. I mean, when you and rightfully so, we were listed 5th because we were young. We were young and unsure what we could do, and I'm a new coach, and I understand it. But it shows you the values of, look, you have to get the honor I got. You got to have great players. I mean, there's great coaches out there that don't even get considered that because of their win-loss record, and they're still good coaches. But when you have great players, it makes a big difference. And I think the players coming back and our freshmen, they've just really gelled, and I mean, they were high school All-Americans too. So I think they've come into their own and really had a great year.
In all honesty, during the off season, when you know you're losing Shakina and Glory and Vicky, and you lose almost your entire coaching staff, and you're starting over, in all honesty, did you think that this was possible? You being Coach of the Year, the SEC title, and in talks for National Coach of the Year?
Well, I will tell you this: that wasn't my fault in the summer. And when we lost to UTC, I was far from thinking that we would be where we are right now. So, no, it was not in my thought process, and I just wanted to come in and put a stamp on this program and make sure we carried on the tradition. So,
Holly, outside of the fact that you're the coach now, is there anything different about going into the tournament this year as opposed to previous years? Are you doing anything different, or is it pretty much business as usual?
I think it's going to be the same. I've been doing it for 28 years, and we've had a process that we've been doing, and we've played early, we've gotten a bye, we've done everything. So we're just going to approach it as we've done regular games. We're going to have to be a little mindful of how we practice and those type of things, because we have 3 games in a row, which is difficult. It'll be difficult for us because our numbers and our injuries. So we're going to have to really be mindful of what we do and how we practice.
Holly, speaking of those injuries, Ariel's okay. We see Miko out there. What exactly has happened to Izzy, and what is her status right now?
I think Izzy's they're still evaluating her knee, and I'm not sure, quite honest. I think she's doubtful for this weekend. That's
so
my understanding.
It's the right knee, the surgically repaired left knee is okay.
It's her right.
The right knee that's causing her issues?
Correct.
You said before that you'd have to be strategic about your timeouts with your limited players. With 3 games possibly back-to-back, how will that change your game plan and meaning to stay somewhat fresh?
I think it depends on who we play and what the score is at the time, and just going to have to be really understanding that as I want to run and push and pressure, we have 3 games in a row, and I don't know if we can do that for 40 minutes or think that we could attempt to do it for 40 minutes. So I think it's going to be important of how we substitute, the style we play, and I think all factors are going to come into play, especially to see who we play as well.
How many times have you watched the Kentucky film?
I've watched it. I've went on 4 times today. Gotta learn. You gotta learn. We have to learn, and our players watched it, and it was a great teaching moment. And as long as you can if you can learn from it, and they learn from it, then we can use it as a value to us.
Given the circumstances, is perhaps Nia and Phillips, do you have to look at them for some minutes if you can, maybe in the first half?
I think so. I think they're going to be valuable for us to give them, to try to sneak them in a couple of minutes or 2. And it goes back to, I think, who we're playing and the tempo and what the situation is at the time of the game. But yeah, I think we're going to have to try to get them some minutes.
The last 3 years, your teams have played really well in this tournament. Maybe last year you could argue was your senior best basketball of the year. I mean, are there things, what did those teams do in the tournament that allowed them to play that you can draw upon those experiences?
Well, I think they got motivated because they had lost the regular season championship that was theirs, and they lost it. They lost 2 games at home. And I think that motivated them. And I think this team is motivated by people still doubting if they're legit. And so in the back of their minds, they're still out to prove that they are where they're supposed to be, and I love that. I think it's great for us. So I think they'll be highly motivated. I know they've taken one game at a time. I know we stumbled at Kentucky, coming off a big win against Texas A&M, but as long as we learn and move on, then I'm okay with it.
What did you all say to Megan before the season about what she needed to do to improve defensively, and what's the difference you've seen in her this year in terms of that part of her game?
Well, I think we've stayed on Megan throughout the whole year. I mean, it didn't just happen overnight in the summer. It's been a work in progress, and I think that the games we've really watched films and just pointed out, Megan, you got to get better. And the films don't lie. We can tell her, but when she watches herself and understands where she needs to be, I think that's helped Megan tremendously. And we're going to keep pointing it out and keep having her get better, because her all-around game's got to get better. It's improved, but it can continue to get better.
What is her ceiling if she can get that defense to where she is offensively?
She gets defensive stops. You know, she gets defensive stops, and you know, she doesn't give up the more defensive points than she does scoring offensively, and that means that she can lock her player up, then would be satisfied.
What has she meant to them? I mean, co-player of the year conference. What has she meant to this team?
Well, she's been huge. She's been huge. She's been if she gets buckets when we need to, when she puts her mind to it, she can get defensive stops. I think her all-around game has gotten so much better. But she's shooting a great percentage. I just think she still understands that she has still got room to grow, and she has not arrived, and I think she totally understands that. That's why she keeps working on her game.
Bashar wasn't just freshman of the year. She was first team All-SEC. That puts her in elite company at this program, the Holtzclaw, Parker territory. The ceiling for her isn't even known yet either. She can get a whole lot better, can't she?
Yeah, I think Bashar is she's just doing what, you know, she doesn't know. I think she came in here knowing what she could do or what she should expect. I think she's just got a great work ethic, and she works hard. And so that hard work and that work ethic has made her become the player she is. So she's going to continue to get better. She's going to get better on the defensive end. She's going to get in better shape. But I think she's pretty good right now. But I think the more she gets involved in plays college basketball, she'll understand the more she has to get in better physical shape and mental shape and all that.
What have you told some of these younger girls about the SEC tournament, what the atmosphere is going to be like, the style of the competition?
Well, I think we've addressed that. We got to focus, and we got to focus one game at a time, and that's what our priority is, one game at a time. So we can't look at Saturday, Sunday when we don't take care of Friday. So that's our goal, is to focus on either Florida and Arkansas and get that done, and then we'll move on. So that's the most important thing for us, because this team cannot look ahead. We cannot prepare ahead. We've got to stay in the moment and get ready for the next game.